Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, world? Happy Monday. Thank God we made it to see another Monday. Thank God we made it through the weekend and survived. On that note, actually, not everyone survived the weekend, which brings me to this topic. But before I do that, today is your Monday Vibes, episode 8. And the topic of today is how to handle loss or how to handle losses. Okay. So for whatever reason, it seems like it's the season of loss, as far as a lot of loved ones have been getting called home. A lot of people have been losing their lives, and for example, this so far it's only February, and I've already been to three funerals, and unfortunately, I have to go to another one. R.I.P. Mr. Davis, co-worker I worked with, just passed away Thursday. And, actually today was Kobe Bryant's memorial service. And so I just want to talk about losses. So there's three types of losses, right? You have the physical loss, like if you lose a game or you lose a possession, right? That's the first one. The second one is an emotional loss, which will be like a breakup or a divorce. And then the third one is a spiritual loss, when God takes the spirit. So I just want to give tips on how to handle losses and how to grieve peacefully and so that you don't hurt yourself. So the first one is physical loss. So if you lose, in fact, over the weekend, I'm sure you guys know there was a big heavyweight fight, and it was the heavyweight division, and they're two of the best fighters. And Tyson Fury won, and Devontae Wilder lost. It was his first loss. When you take a big major loss like that, there's a lot of things that go through your head, and a lot of negative and potentially fatal thoughts that go through your head. So the advice is we're all going to take losses in life. That's part of life. They say sometimes you win, and sometimes you learn. So that's perspective. So just because you're taking a loss doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. In fact, maybe it's God telling you that you need to learn something, right? Or you need to step your game up. Which brings me to the next point. You could take loss as a wake-up call. And everybody reacts differently. And, there's no right or wrong way to handle like loss if you lost a family member. But as far as a physical loss, like losing like maybe a sports game or losing a possession. In fact, last week for me, I actually took some losses. It was a business deal that didn't go through, and I had to spend a whole bunch of money on my one of my cars, and in that moment, you feel the stress, and I could have dwelled in it for a while, but what I did was I just tried to keep moving forward, which is the key. You got to keep moving forward. I try to find little things that I can win, so little wins, right? So maybe I'll just accomplish a task, and then after that task, I try to accomplish another task, and just build up momentum from that. And then you'll see that after each task that you complete, your spirits will start rising. You know, but again, depending on the loss, obviously, there's not one solution. So the first category is physical loss. The second one is an emotional loss. So if you get if you happen to go through a breakup or a divorce, obviously it's going to take some time to get over that, especially if you really love that person. And that's the other thing. Time is one of the greatest tools to handle loss, right? So sometimes it just takes time, and that's another thing. Some things you can do is surround yourself with positive people and loved ones, and people who are really there in your corner and actually want to see you do well. That's another thing. If you take a major loss and you lose like a lot of status, a lot of money, and you'll see who your true friends are, because that's when a lot of the fake ones they scatter. And that's why actually sometimes if you take a major loss as far as status or money, it's one of the best things that can happen to you because you get to see who's real and who's fake. The real one's gonna be there no matter what. But the fake ones, as soon as the ship starts sinking, they jump off the ship. So that's how I want. I want my ship clear. I just want it to be me and whoever's down for me. So that's another if there's any positive of taking losses. And I'm not talking about like losing a life. I'm talking about if you were to lose like status or a lot of money or position, you get to see who your real friends are. All right. So the final loss is spiritual loss. When God comes and claims the spirit, and obviously there's been a lot of research on how to deal with grief. But the best thing to do is obviously take your time and don't do anything destructive. That was actually the next category. There's two ways to react to loss, right? One is the destructive way, which normally, unfortunately, people resort to using drugs and alcohol and actually hurting themselves in the process. And the second one, which I hate to talk about, but it's actually prevalent. It's called suicide. So I just want to say this: try never to even consider that. Just if you ever think about committing suicide, just get some help. Call somebody. Just let them know you need help, and just get that appropriate help because suicide is never the way to go. So those are the two destructive ways to handle losses. Some constructive ways are, like I said, learning from your mistakes. So for me, for example, going back to when I took a loss it was a business deal. I always try to replay like, okay, what did I do wrong in that situation, or what could I do better or do different next time so that I can get that deal, and so that this doesn't happen again, right? Which is what I recommend to my man, Mr. Wilder. You gotta go back to the drawing board and look at what you did wrong and correct your errors. And actually, since we're talking about boxing, the biggest upset I believe was actually Mike Tyson when he got beat by Buster Douglas. And the ironic thing was Mr. Douglas, he just lost his mother, and he said that the loss of his mother is what motivated him to train harder and focus, and he dedicated that whole entire fight to his mother, and he was the first one to beat the undefeated Mike Tyson, right? So that's another example of you can take pain and loss, and you can be destructive, or you can use it to motivate yourself and do better and elevate yourself. So that's what I recommend, okay? So the constructive ways is one, learning from your mistakes. Next one is finding ways to improve and prevent that from happening. And then the third way is putting a chip on your shoulder, to motivate you, because it's kind of like a movie. Like, life's like a roller coaster. So when you're down on your luck, the only way to go is up. So you gotta use that. You gotta tell yourself, hey, look, it can only get better from here, and use that experience to motivate yourself and try to redeem yourself, because there's nothing better in life than falling from grace and then redeeming yourself and getting back to the top, which is actually what Tyson Fury did. For those of you who didn't know, he was at the mountaintop, fell off, dealt with some mental issues and drugs and stuff, and got himself back, and now he's at the top of the mountain. So if he can do it, we all can do it, right? So that's about it. I don't want this video to get too long, but for all you who are dealing with losses or loss of loved ones, you gotta just pray, put God first. Pray for God to console you, and I'm gonna pray for God to console you, because death is something we're all gonna have to face at a certain point. Nobody lives forever. We're all gonna die, but and some people actually believe that death is a part of life. So you just gotta prepare for it. But no preparation can prepare you for having to deal with the loss of a family member. So for all you who are dealing with loss of life or loss of loved ones, I pray for you. My prayers are with you and your family. And remember to just take some time and surround yourself with positive people. All right. So this is it. I'm not gonna let this video get too long. It probably already is, but this is your boy Banner Chroma Jr. Go ahead and like and share this video with anybody who's either grieving, dealing with a loss, or just needs a little motivation to get back on the saddle. Okay, this is your boy Banny Chroma Jr. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you this Friday. Let's have a productive week, and let's do what we gotta do to make it a Friday. All right, I love you. Peace.